What's up, lore masters? This video, in its current format, is being brought to you by Hover.com. They've offered to compensate me for the loss of revenue to show you guys the full Octane video clips versus the still images I usually do. They'll also be funding a brand new series based on the Borg, so stay tuned. With that out of the way, let's just get into it. When looking at these videos, it can be difficult for me to parse out the past massive gaffes of the show and the executives who have been, shall we say, inaccurate when it comes to truth. I'm going to try to set all of that aside and just take this as it is.
There is a great responsibility at hand.
Now, I've stated this before, and I'll say it again. Discovery trailers always start out very well done and very strong. They give you a sense of hope. This is exactly what I feel Nostalgia Trek is like. A beautiful shot of Discovery and discussions on responsibility. It's something intriguing and speaking to most all other series that have discussed the responsibility of being in space and what that entails.
This could be the defining moment for multiple civilizations, millions of lives. The future may be determined by our actions, yours and mine.
Okay, so there's a lot going on here, and I have a bit of a concern. First, it's obvious Spock is speaking to Michael, which, God please, don't make this Burnham focused. And then the question, a lot riding on the future. I mean, again, all of this is good action, and it seems like one or two people taking on the universe, but Trek has always been about the greater whole, and this seems more individualistic. That said, it's still kind of cool, and the scenery leaves a lot of questions. We see Burnham holding a phaser, correctly even, believe it or not, and then the Klingons fighting. At first, I thought they were sparring, but this is obviously a full-on combat as you see one of the Klingons getting hurt. I'd say this is connected to the other trailer where we see the D7. So from here, we can tell the Klingons and the Federation are going to be tied together in some way, and it's going to come down to some form of conflict. Whether they're fighting together or individually, or they're fighting their own demons or a specific enemy, is yet to be known.
We're really on the other side of the looking glass now, aren't we?
Oh, she's such a great actress. Please do something more with this character, Star Trek.
We're investigating 7 red bursts. These signals typically follow the arrival of a being we call the Red Angel.
Okay, groovy. We know more about the figure, the Red Angel, and the signals. At first, they wanted to investigate what was going on. Does she want to make contact, or is she going to harm someone? Spock disappeared, and it's all tied into this person, so now we know a little bit more, which I do actually like.
This angel showed me an apocalyptic vision.
Now, a few things in this image, which is pretty interesting to me. First, when we look at the footage that the captain is looking at, I'm guessing this is from the past. I mean, look at what the people are dressed in. The garb appears to be from the 21st century, some form of military. It's not consistent with what we see in Trek. I mean, whether they're civilian or not, Federation or not, civilians don't appear to wear this type of garb. Again, it's very militaristic. Additionally, when you're looking at what is in the frame, it appears to be a form of church, if I had to guess. Now, we do know that religion existed in the original series and only saw diminishing returns in the Next Generation and on. So it would still seem that churches did exist, but I question if it was in this archaic design. Also, the imagery of an angel with the light and the wings is very interesting and telling, and then Spock talking about it being an apocalyptic vision, all very religious. So I'm curious where they're going to go with this.
Someone or something is going to end all sentient life in the galaxy.
Okay, two things here. Again, very actiony and not so much the original Trek that we're used to, but I don't hate it. This scene and a few others also give me hope. Discovery feels like they're going to do an ensemble cast, which is exactly what the show needs and what people have been asking for.
Quite the welcome.
Captain Georgiou.
Let me stop here a second. Captain Georgiou? Did you hear that? Captain Georgiou. Is it possible that Pike isn't aware of the alternate universe or that he's dealing with the Empress? I don't hate that. That's an interesting take and could be a great arc, especially if the Captain and Georgiou had interactions before Captain Georgiou was killed. I honestly hope they go somewhere with that. That is kind of interesting to me. Especially when you tie in the original series how Spock talked about how someone on the other side really could not coexist in the Prime timeline.
We joined Section 31.
Fancy. Covert ops. Threat assessment.
Fun times.
Man, I gotta be honest, I love how this destroys a lot of arguments from Discovery fanboys who are trying to say that the black insignia was just Starfleet security. It's just, so sweet. But beyond that, I'll be honest, this is probably my biggest issue I have with the entire trailer. Section 31 isn't covert ops, they're not black ops. Section 31 is above and beyond the Federation. When we meet them, they are not a part of the system. Covert ops is still a part of the system. Section 31 is an entity with no rules and not being watched. Covert ops is. The fact that a captain and a command crew are talking about this as if it's something normal or something that's known diminishes Section 31 for me. It's on par with what Voyager did to the Borg. That said, we haven't seen the episode, so maybe there's a good explanation here. It's possible that Section 31 is pretending to be covert ops so that they can talk and be with Discovery and Discovery not raise any alarms. It may also be that Section 31 started out as covert ops and then became this twisted, corrupted thing in DS9. I think that would be an interesting arc as well.
It's Section 31's
Oh good, more alien and horror.
It's Section 31's position that the...
I'm gonna stop for a second and we are gonna rewind, but pretty cool ship design here. I think we saw something similar to this in season 1. I'll be curious if we have a new ship class. I'd honestly love to break it down. I love these ships in Discovery. Ships, the way they look, are done really well. I'll be honest, this has a Romulan feel to me though, so I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's Section 31's position that the Red Angel should be considered dangerous.
So I'll say this, Section 31 has been known to show themselves to reach out to have some huge issue, some huge threat taken care of. So this isn't out of the ordinary necessarily. Though I wonder why the hell he's back. It's probable he'll become a regular again. I'm almost sure of it.
We're in the middle of a fight for the future.
You know, in a previous trailer, everyone was so upset about Spock smiling. I was more taken aback that the guy assaulted someone. I think, isn't that his mom? In front of 2 guards, so something big is going down here. You know, I always thought my Trek could use more venom in it.
Mr. Data, we are always in a fight for the future.
I like the sentiment here, and I just love how Pike is played. I don't really have a lot to add. I really like the way this actor plays Pike.
Captain, 10 Sentry ships on an intercept course.
Well, beyond who are the Sentry ships and why are they attacking, I also wondered why they decided to bring the suits from Stargate and the little laser ball thing from Star Wars into play, but that's just me.
I risked everything to help you.
You assume every burden is yours alone.
At least they admit she's a self-absorbed bit. So I just want to note that Discovery is apparently bringing something with them. This is an easy clip to miss. I don't have much to add beyond that.
Discovery will not allow a catastrophe on her watch.
Alright, so 2 things. First, Saru absolutely should be captain. Love him. Keep that. Saru as captain. Hashtag Saru as captain. Secondly, it looks like this is happening in the Mycelium network with the Discovery, so it's most likely a vision. I'd also note that they're mimicking Star Trek Generations, which I think we can all agree is the best Star Trek, so they definitely should be doing this. Definitely when you're looking at canon, grab everything from Generations. Just a wonderful movie. So Burnham getting the hell beat out of her, and it looks like they're blowing something up. And I'll be honest, is it just me or does this look like the Mycelium network? Let me know, because I think they're probably exploding the Mycelium network.
It worked. I mean, of course it worked.
Oh my god, I love Stamets. Just more Stamets.
Lord knows what's waiting for us out there. Be bold. Be brave. Be courageous.
Again, this is more action than nostalgia Trek, but it's pretty interesting and makes you question what's going on.
Captain, we are riding into danger.
Is that a smile I see on your face?
Yes.
Welcome to Discovery. Maximum warp.
Aye, sir.
So overall, this does have some hope. I know a lot of people had issues with the fact that Spock was smiling, and when I pointed out it was consistent with early TOS, they state that was an inconsistency that just didn't need to be addressed. Now, I may be in the minority here for those who are critical of Discovery, but if they address an inconsistency, I'm not against that. When it's done well, inconsistencies and plot holes explained away add depth to the story, add depth to the lore. So the fact that Spock has energy here, that he has emotion, that's not horrible. I guess my biggest issue is this trailer gives me hope, but the executives and marketing team have lied to me before. The Star Trek room writers have shown they wouldn't know canon if they had watched actual Trek, and it just feels like a cash grab. Guys, you don't believe me, but I hope I'm wrong. I want this to succeed. I want Discovery to be just great. I want to say season 1 was horrific, it was biased, it was agenda laden, don't ever watch it, but season 2, is a return to form. Or even to say Season 2 is not Nostalgia Trek, but it's really good. And I really hope that's what happens. But those are my thoughts. What are yours? Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I want to take a moment to give a huge shout out to Hover.com, who is sponsoring this video and is going to be sponsoring an entire Borg series that I will be doing. They're going to ensure that I am able to show you full clips, so when CBS takes money from my hard-earned work, I won't have to worry about it. On that topic, have you ever noticed how most of the internet is being paid off by Squarespace? Want some actual variety so you can make the best choice and not just go to one provider? Well, instead of just going with the crowd and listening to all those free thinkers who tell you the same thing, be a rebel. Consider Hover.com. Hover allows you to buy and maintain a domain easily. Their sole focus is ensuring that you have a website and email set up. They stick to what they do best, domains. Instead of flashy gimmicks like, hey, buy it from us and we'll help you create your own website, even though it's really confusing to do, they just make sure that the domain works and let you figure out what you want to do with it after that. After all, what good is having a domain that allows you to create the website if it doesn't work or they are constantly trying to sell you something without helping you fix it? Getting a domain is stupid easy. Just go to Hover.com, enter in the name of the domain you want, click the one that you want to buy, and then purchase it. Hey, remember to use the link in the description below to get 10% off. So if you want to make a website and not have to worry about all the rigmarole or that some terms of service is going to have you banned, or try to sell you gimmicks every time you call, check them out. Supporting them means you'll be supporting this channel and possibly having more series like this. Let me know your thoughts on them though. As always guys, all of our lives are just a story. Make yours a good one.